So when did you start using the app?
Okay, like right when I turned 18, I kind of just downloaded Tinder. I think it was, like a lot of my friends talked about it because we were talking about like beach week for senior year, and like, this is gonna sound really bad, but we were just kind of talking about like meeting guys while we were down at beach week, and so my friends kind of brought it up as like a joke, but then when I turned 18 in March, I was like, well, why not? Because I thought it would just like be fun, and it was, whatever like went on. It was weird because like I feel like you hear so much about dating apps like on TV and everything, and it was weird actually like being on it, and then especially coming to college where like so many people use it and it's a lot more common. I mean, like when I first got here, I met like a lot more people who actually used Tinder, and it almost was like a cultural thing being here because so many people use it to get to know other people, especially on such a big campus. It's harder to like, go talk to guys and like date them in like the traditional way. So Tinder is very useful, especially in this kind of context, to like just like reach out to people that you're maybe interested in, maybe get to know them. Also, sometimes it can just be kind of funny. I just swiping through, there are some interesting people on there.
Do you feel like your experience has been mostly positive or mostly negative?
I think while I've been using it, it's felt more positive, but I know when I like think about it that it's not necessarily the way that I would prefer to be going about like the whole concept of dating apps and like getting to know other people who I'm like actually interested in over a phone isn't necessarily it's not the ideal way to get to know someone. And in the moment it's nice because like someone's just like, oh, like you look pretty in that picture, and it's just like, oh, like thank you, like it's just like immediate, like it gives you immediate gratification, but in the long run I know it's not. Whenever I think about it too much, I'm like, ooh, I don't know if this is the way that I like genuinely want to like start a relationship, which like I feel like a lot of people don't really get like genuine relationships out of Tinder.
Sure. Do you feel like dating apps like Tinder cause us to seek a convenient validation instead of like a deep romantic relationship?
Definitely. I mean, most of Tinder is almost just like a way, just like an ego boost. You just, when you're putting pictures up, you're constantly scrutinizing which ones you do, which ones you think you look good in, and when you get someone, even if it's a person you never talk to again, who messages you and is like, oh, you looked really nice in that photo, then it's just for like that like 30 seconds you're like, oh, it's like a little confidence boost, but it doesn't last. It's not very genuine. It's not the same thing as someone that you know really well complimenting you on something.
Yeah. How do you feel like a relationship on Tinder differs from real life dating?
Wow. Well, I think a lot goes like left unsaid because, I mean, just like with the screen, you have a lot more bravado. You maybe feel more confident approaching someone, and versus like when you're at a party, you like see someone cute, it's not as easy because you still have to put yourself out there. And you like when you go up to a person and they might reject you, you have to experience that in person, which is more difficult than like on Tinder. If you like say hey and someone doesn't say hey back, it's like it's not as embarrassing, I guess.
Do you ever feel like overwhelmed for like the need to date or like be in a relationship in college?
Definitely, because well, my older brother, he got his first like serious girlfriend 2 months into dating college, and they got married over the summer. So I definitely, when I was younger, seeing him start to date her like immediately once he got into college, it kind of set up that expectation for me to find or get into a very serious relationship almost immediately, just like immediately find that person for myself, but it's just not very realistic, or at least it does happen for some people, but it hasn't happened for me, and it hasn't happened for a lot of other people, and that's probably going to take more time, and I realize that now.
So what do you think, or like what would be your advice to someone who's thinking about getting a dating app, or like what is a healthy approach when it comes to dating apps?
I think the smartest way to go into it is to just like be aware of what it is. A lot of people, it's a very casual thing. I wouldn't recommend going into it for an ego boost. I mean, that's kind of like a byproduct of it, but I don't think that you should go into dating apps just being like, oh, well, this will make me feel better about myself, because so many of the interactions on there aren't very deep or meaningful, and at a certain point it's going to catch up to you, and I feel like you just need to focus more on what it, like, don't go into it to heal your own confidence. Go into it just for the fun, you know, just getting to meet new people, maybe have some interesting conversations, you know, but yeah, just see it for the fun and casual thing that it can be. Like, if anything, actually using a dating app has almost helped me realize that there's a lot of people who aren't at this stage where they're ready to like get into the relationship that's gonna that they're gonna be in forever. Mm-hmm. It's more relaxed, and a lot of people are more just kind of like letting things happen right now, which I do like that aspect, but it can be a bit of a downer sometimes, because I do want like a real relationship eventually. And so when so many people, their main use of Tinder is just for like hookups, it is kind of sad, because that's not necessarily the main thing that I would want out of a relationship, but it's hard to find people who are more serious through it.
Why do you think relationships are important in college?
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say like romantic relationships are super important. I think if anything, friendships are more important, but I think during college there is that kind of feeling of like, this is the time when you like get out there and experiment and like just have fun with dating. So I think that's just a lot of people's mindsets going into it, but I don't personally think that it's the most important thing that you should be focusing on.
What do you think you should be focusing on if it's not like Tinder relationships or even like romantic relationships? Like, what's really important to you about college?
Well, like I mentioned, I think just like the friendships that you get out of college, I personally think, I mean, at least so far, it's been probably like favorite parts of college. And what, like growing up, that's what people always told me, was that the friends that you make in college make the whole experience for you. So that's the thing that I was looking forward to the most, and so far that's been one of the best parts of my college experience. So yeah, I think that, and also, I mean, obviously we're here to go to school, so you should be trying for that.